Hello, hello. It's Christine here with Create Your Best Life at Home and Work. I'm the CEO and founder, and today I want to talk to you about getting clarity around your values, how to prioritize them, and how to, really figure out your values and how to prioritize what's best in your life. And so, I'm going to ask you a few questions that I think are going to help you get clarity on yourself and where you are with your family and your home. And, just to quickly share, I've worked in the corporate environment for over 25 years in leadership and culture, have run multi-million dollar territories, 30 million plus. And so I've taken my corporate environment, my corporate teaching, and my home life, and really have taken those ideas that I've learned in corporate and how to integrate those into my personal life and at work. So, the goal here is to teach you and to share with you some of these best practices that I know will help you at home and at work. And so I want to do this pretty quickly. I know you've got a lot on your plate, but here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you a few questions that I think are going to really trigger you to think about some things and at your work and your home. And really, I'm going to target in on home. And I'm going to share a story with you, my own story of getting to the point where life was totally out of whack. I don't know if you can relate to this. When you're an achiever and you're a go-getter and you make things happen, sometimes the pendulum goes too far. So I want to share a quick story with you on my life and how I was, the pendulum was too far and we brought it back. I want to talk to you about the values and give you some specific activities and exercises on how you can implement this at work and at home. So let's get started. I've got some questions. So here's the question for you. How would you describe your culture at work? How would you describe it? And how would you describe the culture that you have in your home? And have you ever thought about that? One thing I find, as a coach, a lot of times we focus on so many things in our corporate life, in our business life, and we kind of let things slide at home. So have you thought about the culture? Because just like in business, you will have a culture at home by design or default. There is a culture in our work, in our homes, whether it's by design or default. And so I want to help you identify some things and really get intentional with creating the culture that you want. And then the next thing is, really what ties into creating that culture is, are you clear on your values and how to prioritize what's most important? Um, and when you do that, you experience a lot more peace. I find that in my coaching business, many times we're going, 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 and we don't slow down enough to create a filter of how we make decisions to create the peace and the intentionality in our lives. Now, I want to share this quick story with you. And this was a number of years ago. Actually, in 2015, 2016, I literally was maxed out. And I went to an event. My husband and I went to an event. It was called Cultural Current. And it showed how we can get caught up in life, in this cultural current, and forget about what's really important. And one of the scenes that they showed was a couple going over a boat, scuba diving, and when they went down in the water, they dropped anchor and they're under the water and they're looking at the anchor. And I'm not a scuba diver, but apparently, you have to keep your eye on the anchor. I don't know if you're a scuba diver, let me know. So they're under the water and they get distracted. And so the next thing you know, they look over and they don't see their anchor. And what can happen is there's a current under the water in the ocean that can take you away without you realizing it. They look and they see that they don't see the anchor. And so they kind of had this panicked look on their face and they go up to the top of the water and their boat was so far away. And the whole metaphor was how we can get caught up in the cultural current of life and lose sight of what's most important, and we don't even realize it. It's just this slow thing that happens. And so in 2015, I just felt like literally I was clenching my teeth at night. I cracked two teeth. I was so maxed out. My kids were growing up, and I just felt like, you know, life was out of control. And I was a person that is a maximizer. I don't know if you're familiar with Strengths Finders, but I'm a maximizer, and I literally couldn't. I was just maxed out, and so I we had gone to an event. Um, well, actually, I had gone to an event that I met a couple that traveled America in an RV, and they worked while they traveled, and that planted a seed for me. And this happened a few years prior. And I told my husband one day, I can't keep doing this. And I'd been researching traveling America and like what it would take, and we'd never done anything like that. To make a long story very, very short, we ended up we ended up selling our house in 3 days, buying an RV and a Jeep, and traveling America for a year with our kids. And I mean, that's pretty radical. We both still worked on the road. Our kids did the K-12 Georgia Cyber Academy. And it was incredible. So I'm not saying that you have to sell your house and travel America, but what happened is we slowed down and started thinking about our family and how to prioritize things because it was work. It was kind of like work, um, family, crazy activities. And so it was about really changing things up and prioritizing what's most important. So here's something that we did, and this is something that I would like to recommend for you. The first thing is identifying your core values. And, at the time was working as a leadership consultant, and we had these cards that you could go through and you could organize them and drill down to your top 5 values. And this is something that I definitely recommend that you do. And I did it with my kids. My kids at the time were only I think they were like 7 and 9. And let me tell you something about kids. Kids are so smart. I just explained to them what I wanted them to do and go through these words and choose the top 5 words, top 5 values. And we talked about that. And it was so fun because they came up with their top 5 values. And so we did that in our family. And then what I did is I took everybody's top 5 values and I put them on this little matrix and figured out what were the common ones that we had as a family. And what was really interesting too is we everybody did their values, and then at dinner everybody went around and explained what they meant by their values. So, my husband is an engineer, and he had fun on his. And for me, he's an engineer. He's awesome, awesome guy, but fun was not something that I expected to hear from him. And so when he explained fun, he said that he wants to create fun for other people. And that was like so cool. And I just thought, wow, that's so interesting. That is a key element, for all of us. Different things mean different words mean different things for different people. So I think it's really important when you sit down and do this, and you can do this in your work with your teammates, and if you work in a corporation, your company may do these kind of things, but I think if you work in a team environment, this is a great exercise to do with your team, and it's also a great exercise for you to do at home. So again, here is the different values. So we went around the table and we talked about what these mean. And now I want to tell you something. My son, his name is Carson, and then my daughter is Kennedy. And when we did this, they were, like I said, they were about 7 and 9 years old. And to hear your kids describe what they mean by these things, and I did not give them a ton of guidance. Like, I didn't do this with them. I explained to them what to do, and then they did it. And I just want to just again reemphasize, kids are so smart, and when we treat them as intelligent human beings, they elevate. And right now my kids are 16 and 18, and I just feel really passionate about young people and how to create really amazing children that are leaders. And that could be another talk if you're interested. And so that's the next step, is to have everybody go through. Now, the next thing we did is we went and we had discussion on what our family values were. And what we came up with, so faith and family were the top 2. And then we talked about fitness, and teamwork. And so then we put here what that meant. What does teamwork mean? What does faith mean? What is integrity? Always doing the right thing and being a person of our word. Legacy, changing the world for the better. And then we came up with this little acronym, F cubed TIL. Faith, family, fitness, F cubed, TIL, teamwork, integrity, legacy. So we wanted to have a way for everybody to remember what our core values are. And now we actually took this one step further and we created a code of conduct in addition to our values. And what inspired that is we were watching the Property Brothers on HGTV, and they redid this ranch and they had this cabin. It was for the cowboys, and the cowboys had a code of conduct. And we thought that was so cool. Like, when you have a code of conduct, when you have your values in a code of conduct, it gives you a clear filter of how you conduct yourself, how you live. And that's where, in the Roberts family, these are the things. This is how we carry ourselves. So let me share the code of conduct with you. Our code of conduct is we are generous, serving God and others. We do what it has to be done and leave things better than we found them. We finish what we start. We are tough but fair. We know failure is learning, and we treat others with kindness and respect. And this is something, if I ask my kids, they actually can tell me. Sometimes I asked them not too long ago, and actually they knew some of them better than me. But when you have these clear values, this filter of making decisions, the code of conduct, this is how Roberts, conduct ourselves. There's clarity around who we are, how we act, and this applies in everything, in your business and in your home. And so the next thing I just want to say, again, there is a culture, whether by design or default. um, these are the guiding principles for how you conduct yourself in your family, and trust me, it is so cool, when your kids and even your teammates, like in your business, some of the things is like, we speak kindly about each other. We don't gossip. There's a lot of things that you can do in your business life too. Um, and so it's all about being intentional. This is our one life that we have on this earth. And I don't know about you, but time is flying, and I just think that, that's one of my passions, is in being intentional and helping other professional women, go-getter women, to be intentional in their lives and to feel, to prioritize what's most important, take control of their lives, make confident decisions, to trust your gut again, because I think a lot of times as women, we can just get so caught up in so many things and lose sight of who we are. And so I'm really passionate about that. And so finally, I want to just mention that you've got this. Reach out if you'd like to learn more about our coaching programs. We have some great things coming up this for first quarter, and we're getting all of our resources in line. And let's start 2023 out strong. And I look forward to seeing you soon. If you'd like a copy of the values or any of these documents that I shared, just put something in the notes, the comments to me, and I'm happy to send you some of these things and even guide you through it with whoever it is that you want to do that with. So have a great day, and I'll see you soon.